everybody wants to face each other. So is that where we're at right now with Canelo?
No. Crawford needs the money.
Crawford needs the money?
Yeah, he needs the money.
No, how can you convince fans that he can beat Canelo?
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. He's a good fighter.
You know, I'm gonna make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all gonna cry when they get home. You know, and I meant that.
Gervonta Davis claims Canelo Álvarez will completely dominate Terence Crawford in their upcoming bout. He highlights that Crawford has shown vulnerability before, noting that even Yuriorkis Gamboa managed to stun him during their encounter. Davis contends that Álvarez's physical advantages and punching power will prove overwhelming. He maintains that the gap between them is substantial and that Crawford's previous flaws will reappear against a more powerful adversary.
So how can you convince fans that he can beat Canelo?
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. He's a good fighter. But, bro, I would say smaller fighters are always better than bigger fighters because they're smaller, they know how to move and everything like that. But this guy is great at what he do. He got. And another thing, bro.
Terence Crawford has consistently silenced critics throughout his professional journey. The unified title holder in both lightweight and welterweight categories now targets the enormous challenge of confronting Canelo Álvarez at super middleweight. Regardless of size and power concerns, Crawford maintains unwavering belief in his technical abilities. In a passionate declaration, Crawford stated that every skeptic will leave disappointed after the final bell, highlighting his self-assurance and psychological strength approaching one of boxing's boldest endeavors.
You know, I'm gonna make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all gonna cry when they get home. You know, and I meant that. You know, everybody's talking about the size and, you know, me being a smaller fighter, but if you look on the stage, I've been sparring these big dudes my whole career. Like, how I'm gonna take a punch? They punch me every time we spar. So, you know, it's okay. You know, once we get in the ring and they see something different, like each and every time, it's gonna be another excuse. Why, the reason why Terence won, and this and that and that is, but I can assure you, I'm gonna be victorious, and after that, we're gonna have another parade.
Gervonta Davis, among boxing's most prominent lightweight stars, has openly shared his predictions for the Canelo-Crawford confrontation. Recognized for his devastating knockout capability, Davis has consistently selected Álvarez to defeat Crawford. He asserts that Canelo's natural dimensions, power, and championship experience will overpower Crawford, emphasizing that Crawford has never competed at this weight level. For Davis, Álvarez's established history across various weight classes makes him the logical choice, even against someone with Crawford's technical prowess.
We got between Canelo and Terence Crawford. Tank is gonna pick Canelo to knock Crawford out. We all know Tank had his little run-ins with Bud and things of that nature, to where Bud say he will fight Tank at 147, which is crazy to me, right? Tank ain't going to no damn 147. But nonetheless, Gervonta Tank Davis go ride with Canelo, and you know, he a smart man. No, he a smart man, because I think everybody and their mama see that, you know, Canelo Álvarez is too big for Terence Crawford, just like Terence Crawford knew it. But Gervonta Tank Davis always pick Canelo over everybody. Doesn't matter who it is.
Regarding professional background and big fight exposure, Canelo Álvarez stands without equal in contemporary boxing. Since competing against Floyd Mayweather early in his career, Álvarez has continually challenged himself against larger, stronger opposition. Canelo's advocates maintain that Crawford, despite his pound-for-pound excellence, hasn't encountered comparable larger opponents. This background of conquering physical disadvantages strengthens Álvarez's self-belief as he readies for another super fight.
I don't see Crawford knocking Canelo out. If Canelo lets Crawford get away with boxing, he may have a shot. If Canelo comes in there and boxes and cut the ring, Canelo has a chance of knocking Crawford out.
What?
Yeah.
You said Canelo got a shot at knocking Crawford out?
I think he does.
Wow.
Remember, Crawford coming up for 135. And I don't know if y'all remember when he fought Gamboa. Gamboa rocked him a little bit too. And we talk about Canelo Álvarez.
That was a long time ago. We gonna do that. Canelo got rocked by Jose Miguel Cotto.
I didn't know that. But on the real, Canelo has faced a bigger opposition. He's faced a bigger and a harder punchers. Who has Crawford faced that's a big puncher? Canelo's taking more hard punches than Crawford. The tail of the tape is going to be if Crawford can take the power from Canelo, and can Canelo box with Crawford and potentially hurt him and finish.
Boxing experts have rapidly cautioned supporters against using historical parallels when assessing this matchup. Canelo Álvarez differs completely from Errol Spence Jr., just as Terence Crawford bears no resemblance to Floyd Mayweather. Álvarez presents his distinct approach, explosive force, upper body mobility, and incredible durability. Similarly, Crawford's adjustment capacity and switch hitting skills remain unparalleled. Specialists stress that this confrontation shouldn't be judged by previous templates, instead representing a novel-style collision between two exceptional boxers bringing unique attributes to the ring.
Crawford is a dog, that's a fact. Heart of the lion, that's a fact. Great boxer, great skills, high IQ, future Hall of Famer, that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. You know what else is a fact, ladies and gentlemen? Terence Crawford cannot afford to get hit with these same shots by Saul Canelo Álvarez. Canelo Álvarez is not the mean machine. Canelo Álvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Álvarez is not Gamboa, and he's for damn sure not Errol Spence Jr. Just like Terence Crawford is not Floyd Mayweather or Lara. We trying to say that Bud's gonna do the same thing that Mayweather was able to do. Two different styles, two different type of fighters. Mayweather is a pure boxer. Terence Crawford is not a pure boxer. That does not mean that he can't box. Before y'all try to kill me in the comment section. Yes, he has the ability to do box, but Terence Crawford is a boxer puncher, ladies and gentlemen. He gives angles, but he doesn't move like a Floyd Mayweather or a Lara. He's not on his toes like that. And he also likes to exchange when he gets hurt, and that can be to his detriment. And if he exchanged with Canelo a little too long, it might be NyQuil time. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section.
Canelo Álvarez begins this contest with benefits in both experience and natural physicality. Operating at 168 pounds represents normal territory for him. While this weight class remains unfamiliar for Crawford, Álvarez has additionally shared the ring with multiple Hall of Fame caliber opponents. Conversely, Crawford is universally considered the sport's most technically proficient active competitor. His sense of timing, counter-punching skills, and stance-switching capability make him problematic for any rival. This matchup essentially contrasts physical advantages and experience against technical mastery and adaptability.
Boxing odd makers have Canelo vs. Crawford Gillette close. Now obviously Canelo has the size advantage. He's 3 weight divisions heavier than Crawford. And most people believe that Crawford carries the skill advantage, being an overall more skilled fighter. Neither guy is known for tremendous defense, but it's still solid. And of course, they're both chiseled into the Mount Rushmore of pugilism for their ironclad wills. The one area that people say Canelo might have the advantage is in experience fighting heavier dudes. Now obviously all fighters spar out of their weight classes, but when it comes to actually fighting in the pro ranks with those 10-ounce gloves, Canelo's the only one between the two of them that has a multitude of experience fighting super middleweights and light heavyweights in the pro ranks. So does this slight advantage give Canelo the nod and make him a bit of a favorite? Or is Crawford going to prove that size doesn't matter and it's skills that pay the bills? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments.
Seasoned coach Abel Sanchez voiced significant reservations about Terence Crawford's decision to face Canelo Álvarez. According to Sanchez, Crawford has never operated at this level regarding size and natural weight, making the undertaking a dangerous gamble. He stressed that excessive weight gain can reveal vulnerabilities that technical skill alone cannot overcome. Sanchez referenced Dimitri Bivol's win over Álvarez as an example. Bivol, a natural light heavyweight with clear physical and stylistic benefits, still required peak performance to secure that victory. His message was evident: if a larger, stronger competitor like Bivol needed maximum effort, then Crawford's mission against Álvarez appears considerably more difficult. Sanchez's comments emphasize the enormous challenge Crawford is accepting.
It's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I just think that moving up in weight without having fights to merit that, I think it's the wrong move. But he couldn't handle a 154-pounder the way that he was handling everybody else before. And Madrimov is not Canelo. Canelo's been used to fighting all the bigger guys and has done very well with the bigger guys. Nobody's hurt him. Nobody's heard of him. He's fought the biggest punch. He fought Gennady. Come on, he fought Gennady twice, really the good fights, and then Bivol couldn't. Bivol hit him with everything and couldn't hurt him. So how's Terence gonna do that? I don't think he can. I see Canelo going away maybe in a 16-12, 17-13 kind of fight. The first 3 or 4 rounds will be difficult for Canelo, or a little harder for Canelo because of the speed. But once he assimilates, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, you know, the first 3 or 4 rounds where Kell was fast. But Terence is going to expose himself when he throws his punches, and Canelo's going to finally get this timing down, and I think we'll be able to control the fight.
Do you see a version of Canelo now that is slowing down? Obviously, a lot of people might point towards the Williams Skull fight, but again, despite how that one played out, people talk about his lack of motivation maybe for a fight like that. But do you see this version of Canelo declining?
No, I think the lack of motivation because of the opponent could have been the reason for that fight. I think these guys at that level, once they get a name, they're looking at a name. It's a different story. They're not only their motivation, but they're waking up earlier in the morning to go run. All those things come into play because they know they have a challenge ahead of them.
One thing with the weight, and again, Buddy spoke to me about this, is he said that if he was Terence, he'd come in just over the 160 limit, so he's just inside the 168 limit to try and keep a bit more of that speed instead of just like bulking up. Do you agree with that sentiment, or if you was Terence, would you just bulk up?
Well, let me say this. Like everybody else, I read or I watch some of the writings on the internet, and to see that Terence is weighing 186, 190 pounds, I think that's completely the wrong way to.
Esteemed trainer Robert Garcia, who has trained numerous world champions, expressed worries about Crawford's preparation. Garcia cautioned that rapid weight addition can reduce a fighter's natural advantages, particularly quickness and reactions, attributes that characterize Crawford's approach. He also rejected comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, reminding audiences that Mayweather always remained within his optimal weight range and competed tactically. For Garcia, Crawford's exceptional qualities might not completely transfer to super middleweight if additional mass reduces his speed or impacts his endurance.
With Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance, and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it. You know, you guys were just mentioning it right now that Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills, we give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how, you know, his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork, because of the weight. So we'll see. You know, I just hope he's not just training and getting big to survive and go the distance, because maybe that's a win for him. Maybe he's thinking, if I go the distance with him, that's a big win for me. So, you know, I just hope not. I expect Crawford to actually pull up some runs and maybe even pull up the fight. But if he's too heavy, too big, he's gonna get hit, and he's gonna have to exchange punches, and that's where the danger comes.
Two-time Olympic gold medalist and multi-division champion Claressa Shields contributed her perspective to the discussion. Shields mentioned that boxing icon Shane Mosley predicts Canelo will control Crawford, but she politely differs. Shields favors Crawford, referencing his technical arsenal and adaptive capacity as reasons he can conquer the size discrepancy. As one of history's most decorated female fighters, her viewpoint holds significance, particularly since she has always respected Crawford's technical excellence and mental resilience.
Like, all due respect to Shane Mosley,
Sure.
he just said that Terence Crawford was going to get watched by Canelo. I don't think his word is really worth that much.
Do you think she need a year?
No, she needs till January, February. That's the timeline. She needs 6 to 8 months. She said out of her own mouth that she's in shape. She can come back. She told me that I'm too small for her. I'm not skilled enough for her. She punched too hard, and if she comes to get me, I won't be able to keep her off me. So stand on that, take this $15 million, and come get your ass whipped.
Trainer Rob Aosta responded strongly in support of Terence Crawford as doubters questioned his physical changes before the anticipated fight. Some commentators suggested Crawford's weight increase might not be organic, but Aosta completely denied these claims. He emphasized that Crawford's bodily transformations resulted from commitment, a meticulously planned nutrition program, and the exhausting requirements of his training camp. According to Aosta, Crawford has consistently been among the sport's most diligent and reliable athletes. He clarified that Crawford's standing has been established not merely on ability, but also on his unparalleled commitment to preparation. The trainer noted that each phase of Crawford's routine, from dietary plans to physical conditioning, was precisely supervised and implemented. Aosta encouraged boxing enthusiasts and analysts to disregard unfounded claims and concentrate on the actual fight. He affirmed that Crawford's enhanced physique isn't an easy solution, but rather demonstrates months of dedication and sacrifice. For Aosta, the genuine narrative involves Crawford's desire for excellence and his preparedness for new ring challenges.
Sorry?
Okay.
PEDs. You've been hearing a lot about Terence Crawford and Victor Conte as of late.
I've seen that. Yeah, little
people are making accusations. People are insinuating that Crawford is indeed doping, and based off of his recent size, and they're not used to Terence Crawford looking this big. And give me some insight into that. Give me some insight into fighters walking around with PEDs and criticism of the guy that hasn't tested positive versus the guy in the same fight that's tested positive and team that's tested positive.
First, I don't think Crawford's taking anything. I don't think he is. I think just the size difference in what he walks around to what he's been looking lately, that is that's just something that possibly, that's how he walks around. Now, Crawford's physique, he's the type of guy that if he becomes heavy, it shows in his face, it shows in the obliques, but he still got abs, he still got definition in his chest. You know what I mean? So he could just possibly just look like that. Now, mind you, there's still a decent amount of time. We're still talking about 4 weeks. So I'm curious to see how either wherever he is, the cut goes, or however low he goes, how it gets constructed on the way up.
Analysts have frequently mentioned that the result might rely more on Canelo Álvarez's condition than Crawford's adaptations. Recently, certain Álvarez performances have missing the intensity of his peak years. If he reverts to his previous approach, overwhelming opponents with sharp combinations and superior endurance, he'll prove extremely difficult to defeat. However, if he undervalues Crawford or boxes conservatively, he risks being outpointed. For Álvarez, this bout concerns both restoring his former superiority and protecting his legacy.
In regards to Canelo's meaty workout, so what do we see there? We see a little bit of what he wants to do to take advantage of a right-hand southpaw matchup. Get his lead foot on the outside, bang the right hand down the pipe, set it up with the jab, and maybe even fire that jab at the lead hand of Crawford to just get it touch, step outside right hand down the middle. We saw Canelo doing a lot of cross-stepping, which is, I think, a bad idea versus someone who has good angle manipulation like Crawford does. Right? Every wasted movement is going to be a capitalization for Crawford to try to fire back on. And Canelo is going to be there to be hit with some counter punches. Make no mistake about it, Canelo will stand in the pocket. Yes, he'll try to make Crawford miss, but sometimes he'll even eat a couple so that he can be there behind that high guard, taking punches to look for one of the big ones on his own counter shot. So that can be a little bit of the gamesmanship too. That can be a little bit of the chess game going on, is who's going to land the bigger counter punch and how many of those can Crawford take moving up to 168 versus Canelo, who has been there and is fighting a guy that has fought at a lot smaller weight, that hasn't seen the power, like we talked about, the narratives being built, that Canelo brings at 168. Even now, all those things will come into play. I think a big important part of this fight is just how much Canelo utilizes his lead hand, because I'm telling you, it's going to be the most important thing in this fight. I really think if Canelo is back on his jab and is able to mask some of the stuff that he loves to do which is that lead hook to the body, smashing hook on the arms, on the body, on the shoulders. If he's able to hide it just a little bit and then hit you with that timing, that Canelo Álvarez timing that's been perfect, that put down Amir Khan, that put down Billy Joe Saunders, that found the button on Koval.
Rapper and boxing analyst Oskino provided a straightforward yet vital viewpoint. The entire fight could depend on whether Crawford can endure Álvarez's power. While Crawford has demonstrated durability and toughness at lower weights, Álvarez's punches at 168 pounds exist on a different scale. If Crawford can withstand these impacts without faltering, the match could evolve into a tactical battle. If not, Álvarez's pure strength might conclude the encounter early. Oskino expressed what numerous fans are considering the fight's excitement centers on this single question.
All right, let me ask you a question. You're a boxing fan, right?
Yeah, bad.
Canelo versus Terence Crawford. Like right now, according to betonline.ag, Canelo's favored -180, Crawford is 139. That means that if you bet on Canelo, you'd have to bet $180 to make the $100.
That's not that bad.
It's almost 2-to-1 odds.
Yeah, but
almost.
Canelo stuff used to be way crazier than that.
Terence Crawford's no joke, though.
I mean, I would bet Terence Crawford in the fight.
So you would bet on Terence Crawford?
Yeah.
Why?
He never lost. Mayweather beat Canelo real easy. And I don't think Terence Crawford...
Mayweather beat Canelo way early on. Way early on.
But
plus it's Mayweather.
Listen, law is Mayweather, his cheat code. But I think if anybody can beat Canelo, it's Terence Crawford. I mean, I'm not betting against somebody that never lost. You know what I mean? Now, if Terence Crawford take his punches, that's what we got to see.
Yeah, September 13th in Las Vegas.
That's going to be the biggest fight ever, probably.
It'll be on Netflix.
I think it's going to be the biggest fight ever.
Yeah, Canelo's getting $150 million. Crawford's getting $50 million. Huge paydays for everyone involved.
I think we'll get probably back-end money, too.
Yeah.
Well, how does that work? Because it's not pay-per-view. Do they still...
Netflix putting up the money.
So I'm saying, so they don't get no back-end then?
No, there is no back-end. There's ticket sales.
Yeah, because pay-per-view, the back-end is the most.
There's no pay-per-view.
No. I guess if you give me $50 million up front, I don't really care about the back-end. You give me
but Netflix doesn't do back-ends, period. Like even
so
on
he getting
movie
3
deals.
times more than Terence Crawford? God damn. That's crazy, bro. I would at least think it'd be 2 times.
Would you turn down $50 million?
Not even 5.
So
I know
today you could be pocket watching the other boxer, but at the end of the day, you're still getting $50 million.
Yeah, $50 million.
Biggest payday he's ever gotten in his life, even after taxes and whatever. Like
I just think he was enough of a draw. They can get at least half of what he was getting. Well, of course, $50 million. Like $50 million.
Canelo has the whole like Latin community, and you gotta think that's a huge.
But yeah, I remember Terence Crawford's last fight's been sold out just like Canelo's.
No, I mean they all sell out. Terence is a beast. I just feel like Canelo's kind of a bigger figure.
He a bigger figure, but I didn't think he was that 3 times bigger. This fight's gonna be insane.
Hey man, it's all about negotiation.
You know what it was? Because you know why probably he getting so much less because Canelo ain't had to take it. Canelo scared of Benavidez though, period. And I don't think he can beat Benavidez at all. I would bet on Benavidez.
Yeah?
For sure.
That concludes today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time.